Hello children, today in this lesson we will be describing the functions of the parts of the computer. So as we have seen in our previous class, a computer has got different parts. It has got CPU, Central Processing Unit, keyboard, mouse and monitor. So let us now learn how each of them functions. So we will start with CPU. The full form of CPU is Central Processing Unit. Like our brain controls all our body parts, the CPU controls all the computer parts. The CPU controls all the parts of the computer like monitor, mouse, keyboard, just like our brain controls all our body parts. Now children, if I ask you what is the time? So your eyes will automatically roll towards the clock to see the time. And who is directing your eyes to look at the clock? Your brain. And if you wish to lift up a pen which is next to you, then your brain will tell your hand to pick up the pen. Same way, a CPU controls all the parts of a computer. The most important thing over here is all the parts needs to be connected to CPU. Like monitor needs to be connected to the CPU. Mouse needs to be connected to CPU and keyboard needs to be connected to CPU if it has to work. Otherwise, it will not work at all. And by the way, CPU is connected to the power supply. So let's see now the other part. Now this is a monitor. Remember children, the spelling of monitor is M-O-N-I-T-O-R. Monitor has two O's in it. Okay. So let us see what this monitor is and how it functions. A monitor is just like a TV screen. So if you look at the monitor, you will see it is just like a TV screen. And the CPU uses the monitor to shows movies, games, videos, text, photos, etc. which appears on the screen. So, monitor is a screen on which we can see movies, videos, drawings, text. To wrap it up, we can say monitor is a screen on which movies, games, drawings, text, etc. appears. Now, let's see the next part. The next part is keyboard. As you can see on the picture, this is called as the keyboard. A keyboard has got many buttons. Each button is called as key. So, a keyboard is made up of many small buttons. Each button is called as a key. We can type letters, numbers, alphabets, symbols and words with the help of keyboard. Now observe this picture over here. You will see there are some numbers written, there are some symbols, there are some alphabets written, there are some arrows and many more things. So, this means if a keyboard has alphabets, we can type alphabets, words and paragraphs and essays and poems. Now, if a keyboard has numbers, this means we can type numbers with the help of keyboard. So, every sentence has got type word. This means a keyboard is used for typing and hence a keyboard is also called as a typing device. A keyboard is a typing device. Now let's see what is next. The next part that we are going to discuss is a mouse. Right now in my hand also there is one. Okay, so let's see what does this mouse do. A mouse is used to point and select the objects on the monitor. Now children, you must have seen on the monitor there are some small symbols or small objects are there, and there are some buttons also, so which if you wish to click or select anything, you need to move your mouse pointer towards that. So what are you doing exactly? By moving the mouse, you are moving the small arrow on the screen. This small arrow is called as the mouse pointer, and mouse is used to point at the objects, and if we wish to select anything, then we are using mouse for selection. So mouse is called a pointing device, or we can say a mouse is a pointing device. And now a mouse usually has two buttons and a scroll wheel. Check over here. It has got one button. This is the other button, and this is the wheel which actually I can roll up and down. So this is called as the mouse. A mouse has got two buttons and a wheel. This wheel is called as scroll wheel. So because we are able to scroll it up and down, hence it is called as the scroll wheel. So a mouse has two buttons and a scroll wheel. Laptops, if you have noticed, they don't have mouse. They have touchpad which does all the functions of the mouse. So to wrap everything up, a mouse is called as a pointing device, and a mouse is used to point objects on the screen, and laptop doesn't have mouse. A laptop has touchpad. Now, let us compare the parts of the desktop and a laptop. By the way, you all remember desktop is heavy and laptop is light. Desktop cannot be carried from one place to another very easily, but a laptop can be carried from one place to another very easily. A laptop is chargeable, a desktop is not chargeable. Okay, so let's see one more time. Yeah, the left one is the desktop and the right one is the laptop. So let's see how they are similar in parts. So both of them has got monitor, the screen like thing that you see, it is called as the monitor. Now both of them, that is laptop and desktop, they have CPU. Now you might wonder, in laptop it's not visible, yeah, but it is there. It is there below the keyboard. Every laptop will have a CPU below the keyboard, or under the keyboard there is a CPU. So a monitor has, sorry, a desktop computer has a CPU separate, and a laptop has a CPU beneath the keyboard. Okay, so now let's see the next part, that is keyboard. Now both of them have got the keyboard. See, the desktop also has a keyboard and the laptop also has got a keyboard. In desktop, we have mouse. In laptops, we have touchpad. So thank you children. I hope you learned the functions of each part.